My brother Juju.
Man, it's your bro Chacho Pain Pain.
Keith Mitchell, what's up?
Yeah, that's our brother Keith Mitchell, and it's the Brothers Hermanos. Hey! Yeah, man. So, our brother Keith, dog, he put in work in the whole football world, Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Man, the highest top tier level that you could go in the game, right? And then made the craziest switch to probably being one of the dopest yogi people that you could be in the game. Deepak Chopra chopped it up with him. And just a bunch of the high spiritual people that you would put on a pedestal in that world, talk to them. So from like the ESPN sports world of people having them on a top tier level all the way up to, you know, Deepak Chopra side. Man, we got our brother in the building, man. That shit is what's up, man.
What's up, man? I'm glad to be here, fam.
Hey, respect, bro. Glad you in here, man. Hey.
What's up? We good.
Yeah, man. So, would you, could we start with like a guided meditation? Because I know you do meditations too. So, if anybody want to get their spirit right real quick, do you have something to start us off with?
I always got something, man. We can chop it up with, you know. So, go ahead and get a comfortable seated position. If you're standing, kind of get comfortable. If you're driving, you know, don't do this. But as you're at home, comfortable, just begin to access your breath. On the inhale, push the stomach out. On the exhale, you know, pressing the navel against the spine. And allow yourself to do that a couple times. And just begin to track the air as it comes through the nose and down through the spine, replenishing, nourishing your body, giving you what you need to prosper, what you need to thrive, fueling you to have clarity, calmness, calm mind, peace. Just allow yourself to just check in no matter what's going on. Allow yourself to just step out of it. Give yourself a break, a nurturing break. Detoxify the mind. Keep positive thoughts in. You can do it. You can create it. It's yours. And so it is. Open your eyes and let's go. Begin to get into this conscious.
I had a clear hand doing that.
And let the chi flow.
Yeah, man. It's powerful, man. The mind and what we can do with it, you know.
And the breath, too. Because when you went through that injury, I remember when you told me it was the breath that got you pretty much set back right to be on point again, right?
Yeah, man, so true. You know, being an athlete, what have you, you know, knowing what I felt at the time, everything about being physical, everything about moving, but when I got injured, and I suffered a spinal cord injury that left me paralyzed from the right side of my body from the neck down, but only through my injury, right, I began to, this nurse talked to me about conscious breathing, and she said, do you know what happens when you breathe? And that's why when we started the meditation, we were talking about pushing out the belly, right? We were taught to kind of suck it in, but when you push it out, right, you begin to, your diaphragm pushes down on the inhale, on the exhale, it comes up, and this dynamic begins to massage internal organs. And through this process, we begin to allow that chi, that blood flow to move and circulate through the body, and it's the healing mechanism. It becomes a tool. So when I'm hit with life and I'm having to process certain things, I'm not in that fight or flight mode right away. I can just process it and intentionally come out of it and speak my truth, speak my peace. And, you know, it's a dynamic tool that I use daily.
I think a lot of people need to do that before they start speaking, especially publicly.
It's so true. Because we're so reactive, right? Think of that shallow breath. You're in the heart, the lungs. They don't need your help to move. It's just already moving.
Right.
And so you're in that quick response. It's like, you know, it's over time, what I feel, breathing, conscious breathing helps you with the emotional maturity.
See, you thinking about it on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he put me on Showtime Nikiyama. You have any game on that aspect, or what dudes can do with their chi, or what they can do with their energy to step their game up a little bit in that aspect or in that realm, the Mantai Chi of male cultivation?
Oh man, you're going in right away. Okay,
I got a crazy question for you.
You didn't want to swim on the surface. You want to deep dive. And you went to Nikiyama. Okay, well. Go ahead. Well, you can go to Nityama, guru, first of all. I have so much respect for him and how he works and how I learned from him to move energy. And one of the most, since we talked about tools, starting this conversation with the breath, well, the second thing, in my opinion, there's another tool, but it's actually the most powerful energy we have is our sexual energy. But what do we do with it?
See, that's
You know,
my question is coming.
what you got? It's like we don't know what to do with it, so we just exhaust it. We just like any other type of crackhead. We take that hit and we just like out.
Yes.
But I want to know what can we do with it. So what you got? What you got? Question you got?
See, I don't know. Maybe it's the energy, but I was gonna ask you: can that help impotence? Does that got anything to do with impotence, like the controlling the breathing and your stomach muscles and stuff? Because I know, like, right, most of that comes from like your core and blood flow, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was saying that do that have anything to do with impotence? Like, can that help with that?
Oh man, it's all relative because when we harness that internal chi, you know, like when I speak in Marcus back to go to Kemet, we got to go to Kemet for this.
Right. Oh,
So
that's right. Y'all went out there.
Yeah, we went out there. So there's a reason why. There's a reason why the ancestors wore the cobra on the crown, because the cobra, the reptile, has that energy to be able to stand up to a man 6 feet tall and don't have no hands, no legs. You know, that cobra can stand up erect, inner chi, harnessing it, that pineal gland. And we begin to use that dynamic of that sexual energy to open that up, because we talk about the kundalini energy and moving that through the body. Yeah, and that's our creativity too.
Yeah.
And see, brothers be tapping in like Marcus with that vicious flow. You know, these creative things of putting these shows together. You are tapping into it, but see, I don't want to tap into it. I want to stay engaged in that.
Oh, you want to live?
I want to live in that.
I want to live in it too. I want to live in
Message.
it too. Because living in it
already, like boom, boom.
Obviously it worked because you've been doing some good things. So I want to live in it too, brother.
Oh man, it's that zone. You know, in sports we talk about being in that zone. We have this philosophy, and you know, and through the weekday, we think on the weekdays, right? You know, so the weekday, or in this sense of living, is our intention. We do our meditation, we do our yoga, it's our practice, and so we react on Sunday. So when we go into the world, we're having to live. Now we're using these practices to engage with the people like this, in our public, in our interactions with people. So now we're holding that space in that zone. So I'm just holding space. If I want peace, then I live in peace. I create peace. And I do everything to hold that peace that I say I want.
Right.
Man, my spirit felt that. Like, message.
I mean, I'm like, while you talking about it, I'm zoning out. Like, I'm meditating.
Yes, sir. In the zone.
Yeah.
What else you got?
He just came out the gate.
Man, yeah.
Well, let's stay on that Kundalini energy. Let's go back into that, because you talked about Matachia. So Matachia, through the practices, we don't have a physical ejaculation.
Right.
You know, we begin to hold that, harness that energy. So now I still energetically ejaculate, but I stay within. And I realize that and reveal that energy back to myself. In so many aspects of it, is healing myself. It's allowing myself to develop in a way I haven't ever considered. So when you talk about sacred geometry, right? We're going to go back to chemistry.
Going back to the ancient.
Going back to
the basics.
So when you talk about sacred geometry, right? You got the pyramid facing up and the pyramid facing down, and that dynamic is feminine, masculine, feminine,
yin yang,
yin yang energy, that connectivity.
Message.
Yes. So in that, what we're doing when we come together with that with Shakti, we call it, with Shiva, masculine Shiva, right? So is that my phone? Sorry about that.
Oh no, that's all
good, man.
Just edit that out. Right? We
Yeah.
can keep it.
Yeah.
Either way. Brothers Hermanos, hey!
Yeah. But so when we come together, our polarity poles connect. Just like Dr. Sebi said, we're electric, right? So now we
rest in
allow
peace, Dr. Sebi.
Yes, rest in peace.
And Dr.
The
Africa
Guru
too.
and Layla Africa. But when we come together with those polarity poles connected, man, we create a magnetic charge, and that charge is like happening, and we're not doing anything with it. And I'm here to tell the people out here who are listening, there's something that you can do with it, and that creativity, that electric charge is something that you can take and create, not just a child into the world. You can create your reality, and your reality is the thing that you're manifesting, the career that you want, the types of community you want to build around you. Things right there begin to be magnetic. You begin to attract it to you. And that's the power they don't want us to have right there, man.
Yeah, so A lot of people say
It's like, that could be the show right there. It's like, we just go ahead and be like, brother, do your intro, bro, shot your we'll keep giving them a little bit more. But
See, we
right
can't
there,
give them too much.
it's like, you can drop the mic right there. It's like, just drop it and just
I was about to dive all the way into it. You're right.
Let's go.
But I was gonna say a lot of people we blame things and other people, but really we dumb ourselves down, right?
True.
Like a lot because we not using all of our senses, right? So it's like we dumbing ourselves down. Like that's what I feel like. Just all the distractions. I think we still hone into it, like what you're saying, meditate and get centered, but we just choose not to.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times.
We choose not to, but then I think in a lot of cases we don't even know it's an option. You know,
yeah,
I think when they create the project, it's called a project for a reason. It's actual projects, experimentation.
Right.
And a lot of times poverty begins to be a traumatic situation, and we have to see it as such, because that puts a staple on my mind and my possibility.
Right.
And the words that come with it, which we call conditioning.
Right.
So now when you talk about mindfulness, now I'm looking at my whole life. I'm looking at the words that I use, and I'm revamping those words, kind of like what we did with hip hop. Right,
Okay.
we made good bad, like in a sense we made all these dynamics, or bad good rather.
Yeah.
We made the words fit how we needed it to benefit us.
Yeah.
And so now what we're doing when we talk about poverty and living in it, these types of words, this approach to life, we begin to look at with those same limitations, and through mindfulness we can come out of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've been to a lot of third world countries like Haiti and other places. Why do you think people in those places, like, you know, people that advertise and people think it's super dangerous and everybody is sad, but I found it everybody was happier there. Like, I don't know if it's because they had a better sense of self and who's their real family, who really love them, who doesn't, but I just, like, every time I go to them places, the people just seem happy. Like, once you really get to know the people, they seem happy.
True.
And you think it's, once we get accumulate a lot of, like, maybe, like, material things here, like, we kind of lose that?
Well, you know, it's a conditioning. We got to check in with what lens are we looking at the world through.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
You know, it's like
It's
Dr.
your
Sebi. Yeah, Dr. Sebi told me one amazing thing. He said we started getting sick when we started putting clothes on. So now when I look at the
You're
dynamic,
already trying to hide.
there you go. But then we talk about success and happiness. Well, what is happiness? Is happiness getting a big house on the hill, or is it actually having love in your life?
That's right.
And it's all relative, right? It's all, everybody got a different perspective of what it is.
Yeah. And so we're searching this concept that what you'll find, as you know, you've had success, that's not bringing you happiness.
Right.
What's bringing you happiness is engagement, true relationships with the people that you say you love. If it's not about love that you have an expectation to get, to have, and allowance to have, well then what's the point of being here?
I feel like we think success got a dollar sign on it.
What's that?
I feel like we think success got a dollar sign on
There
it.
you go.
But it's really what you're saying right now. Like, that's what it is. Yeah.
So we begin to reshape our reality. And so the thing is that we can still have those amazing things, the shiny things, but they don't make us. I'm not that.
Right.
So if they go away tomorrow, I'm still gonna keep it 100.
Right. I'm gonna still be me.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
That
man.
makes it easier to just pass through and not get too attached or connected to
Right.
stuff too.
You won't go into shock.
Yeah. And that's what we're seeing here, really. You know, we're seeing people who kind of thought, oh, okay, that's them. It ain't me. But you know what? The government is like this. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care what kind of job, businesses you got.
We run shit.
We like, get your ass in the house.
We run shit.
Get your ass in the house.
And they do.
Say, get your ass in the house and don't come out. So, you know,
And it's
put a
weird.
mask on your face. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we big brother. We big brother.
So, yeah, so it's giving us all a chin check to say, okay, I thought I had the money, happiness, right? But now what's really real? Now we're having to look in the mirror, and we're having that nervous breakdown, that midlife crisis, if you will, for a lot of us.
Right.
Because we're like, now I got to sit with myself. I've been trying to run from myself for so long, get things to replace myself with. Now I got to deal with myself.
That's what right.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Less than more people are having that experience where they're having a breakthrough. This is like giving them a breakthrough. Like they're realizing what they really don't need in their life and what's more important. Like, you know what I mean? And just, I guess, more lucrative ways to make money, more different ways to express themselves, and some people are like really stepping their IQ up, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
But some people, on the other hand, it's like they're in prison.
Yeah.
Because they're not leaving, like you said, they're not tapping into their pineal, they're not tapping into that chi. So so for them, it's just like a punishment, you know.
Well, Dr. Africa, before he died, he said, hey, we're going to have a lot of casualties. You know, because there's going to be some people who want to excel and go farther. But then there's going to be a lot who are going to be complacent and want to stay in that old paradigm. And we got to move. Nothing can stay the same. Everything must evolve.
Bliss, right?
Everything gotta move.
Yeah, everything got to move. And even if it has to move you out of it. So yeah.
I'm sure you've seen that in the field.
Well, yeah.
On football.
I mean,
getting yards and stuff. It's like, I'm either going to move you or you going to move out the way or somebody's either getting hit.
Yeah, that's why I love, man, you know, I learned so much from playing the game and understanding will and determination, resilience, and like allowing nothing to hold you back, stand in your way. And that's why we have to look at fear in our society, and we have to renegotiate this relationship that we have with fear. We can't be afraid of fear.
Right.
Fear is going to be a staple, like, because we're human, we're going to feel it, but it doesn't have to limit you, it doesn't have to stop you.
Because what's going to happen is going to happen, right? Regardless of,
There you go.
you know.
There you go. But you can put your best foot forward in a sense. You can be determined to move through it, and it's not going to be your limitation. But here's the thing: once we begin to be more mindful now, through those failures that we like to call it, you know, talk about, we actually begin to learn. So there actually begins to be no failure. It's just all learning, and this is learning that I may have to pay for, but it's still learning. It's like if you would pay to go to get a schooling over here, but I paid to have that experience, and it didn't work out the best, but now it's going to educate me to come out of it and to have another experience where I win. You know, so
I feel like you could pay people to talk to you.
Boy, you know, I do.
I would definitely pay to talk to you. Yeah. You see, I went into another zone there while you was talking, and I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna come back.
Yeah, it's gonna come back. It'll be all right.
It's gonna come back.
Yeah, that's so. How long have you been doing that? Like actually dealing with people, like sessions.
Man, I've been on my journey for about 10 years for teaching. I've been on my full journey for about 16 years now with practicing yoga, meditation, things like that. So, you know, almost 10 years teaching and going across the world. I've been all over the world teaching. I had the honor of Singapore, Hong Kong, you know, Africa, you know, all over the States.
See, that's what I'm talking about. People that's on a different level spiritually and just on a different frequency. I can tell by the way you answered that question. You was like, well, yeah, I've been on my journey. Like, you know, I'm like, how many years have you been
traveling, passing through? That's what we keep saying. Everything gonna change.
Yeah.
Where's your favorite place you've been to? Is there a favorite place? Is the grass greener on the other side, or do you have to be in a favorite place inside of you?
Different experiences.
To enjoy that experience, enjoy where you at.
Well, before I go into that, I want to talk about the journey. Because when you commit to something, right, you know, I'm like this, the universe is going to call you out. The higher you set the standard, the more you're going to have to step your game up. And sometimes the universe is going to be like, hey, you really want to do this? Well, we're going to see. And it's going to put you through some things, and it's going to test you to make sure you want to hold that space and really do what you say you want to do. But going back to what you're talking about, Marks, when we went, like Kemet, you know, I mean, Africa by far, I've been twice, I've had the privilege, and man, by far, you know, Africa is, you know, it just felt like it was a whole, I can't even describe it. As soon as you land in, it's like I've been here. You know what I'm saying? I've been here before. So I have to say Africa, man. Yeah. So
I'm mad at myself because I've been to all these other countries. I mean, I've been to other, like, Afro-Latin countries and stuff, but I'm just mad that I ain't been to Africa. And I got some cousins out there. So it's like,
you young, brother. You got time. You know, I've had the privilege to go. I'm not 45 countries, but I'm 46. I'll be 46 this week. So, you know, I'm happy to hear that you've been traveling. I think traveling is a very amazing educational piece for us to see something outside of this norm that we see.
that's what I call it, the school of life.
Yeah.
You know, just,
So a lot of brothers and sisters, they're watching this. They need to get that passport. I think only 25% of us.
Your passport.
Only 25% of us have a passport. And you need to get that and you really need to invest in taking that trip over to Kemet.
What is it like? Only like 12% or 20% of Americans actually travel outside the country.
That's true. Yeah, it's only about 25% of the whole population that has.
Right, and it's the same percentage.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, the same percentage.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's wild.
But out of us, we, as a culture of people. I mean, it's for me. I've gotten to see so much, learn so much, and not only just about myself, because like you mentioned Haiti. Well, see,
right.
We'll be over here in our
spiritual place.
Our mom's father, they'll talk about Donald Trump and how they see Donald Trump react. Now, when you go to these places that take you a little bit out of your comfort zone, now you begin to see that Donald Trump in yourself.
You know what? You know what?
Yeah.
He went, because I went to the first time I went to a voodoo shrine.
Yeah.
One of my friends over there, I used to always kick it with him in DR. He took me over there, and it was like that, like just getting around, like seeing the love that the people got, and like the way I react to people. I can really see that, like just little things, like how we walk down the street, everybody speaks. Out here, when you speak to somebody, people looking at you like, what's wrong with him?
Yeah.
You like, hey, how you doing? Love you, beautiful. You know what I mean? But out there, they're like, hey, when you don't speak, they look at you where like, what's wrong with him? You know what I mean? And I had to realize that. I'm like, okay, just be cool, just keep moving and do your thing, And it's like, damn, I'm American.
Yeah.
I'm super Americanized.
Yeah.
Like, I got that. That's what I learned from traveling. Like at a young age, you can't take that mindset over there.
But that mindset is so deep in you, and you don't know that mindset.
Eddie, right.
So you be like, hey, can you cut that AC on? That Donald Trump be coming out of you, like, hey, y'all gotta cut some AC on.
I had a friend that traveled with us one time.
Yeah.
Because me and Mark, we'd be going over there all the time, and I had one friend. I was like, yeah, he can't come no more. He gotta meditate, or he gotta balance his.
He gotta meditate.
He need help before he come out here.
Right.
Or maybe he need to come more.
Yeah.
And he was just like, he was tripping, man. Like when we was in Panama, and he was like, oh, why is the chicken so small? And the lady was like, no químico,
Yeah.
senor. He's like, what is she saying?
Yeah.
It's like, she's saying no chemical.
Yeah.
And she just saying, like, we look at certain stuff like, oh, it's dirty here.
Yeah.
And we like, everything got to be 5-star for us.
Yeah.
Like, we really get a reality check when we travel, man. You like, this is these people's life, man.
Yeah.
You only here for a week. And you...
Man, and you're so on it, and that's why mindfulness is such a very interesting tool, in my opinion, because because we have a bias as to how we show up in the world.
Right.
And so now through your practice, you can really begin to look at yourself and see how jacked up you are a lot of times.
You put me on Bobby Hemming and Brother Panic, and that's what I learned is humanity's the flaw. This is like the decent. So it's like sometimes embracing your flaw, that's like the number one, like admitting you have a problem, or admitting that, the Alcoholics Anonymous, once you embrace that you are flawed, you're able to get past the flaw or make improvements if it's necessary to make those improvements.
True. Yes, sir.
But yeah, man, you put me on a lot of master teachers or inspirational people that did like a lineage of work where everybody has their own voice and their own perspective of what they covered and what they handled real well. Yeah. And I appreciate you for that, because it wasn't like, I'm not your savior. Like, I'm just here to show you a light that's, that's within yourself, that you got to put the actual footwork in.
I'm here to wake you up.
I'm just here to wake you up. That's what I appreciate.
Well, because it's kind of like how I look at the ancestors. We're to study the ancestors, how they lived, how they moved, how they did their business, and how we can look at that and we can find how we can do it better. That's how I look at the ancestors. The wisdom is there. We have to search out the aspect, but we're to find our own way because it's in our DNA. We're innately with that gift. That's what melanin is all about.
And that's pleasing them, trying to be better, trying to take what they left for us and take it to another level.
Yeah. And all the greats did it, like even Malcolm X, because Malcolm X was one of my favorite. But if you look at Patrice Lumumba, he's a the glasses, the suits, everything. That's Patrice Lumumba, Malcolm X. That dynamic. Yeah.
Is there any bombs on melanin you can drop, like any breakthroughs? Because I know you told me it's like, what you know about melanin? I was like, that's the first time I've heard the word, bro. So for anybody out there that never heard what melanin is,
what makes you popping, man. That's that electrical being, man. We get to access energy, carbon, like on the planet, like greater than anybody, because we got it in us. It's innately within us. And so this is why you see brothers jumping and rhyming on so many different levels. But we can do it beyond those type of things. We can do it as scientists. We can do it as teachers. We can do it as inventors. Whatever it is we want to do.
That passion and energy.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep the same energy, but put it in all. We got all many different dynamics that we can actually implement it in. Like, say, for one of the most interesting things with me in coming into mindfulness, I only saw myself as a football player. Right. My perception of myself was in that narrow way, but now I realize the human being potential. Now I have the capacity as a human. I can be an athlete, but then I can come over here and be an author. I can come over here and be a public speaker. I can be over here a social justice leader, in a sense. You know, so I have all these things.
Because you're infinite.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like learning how to control the cockpit. Like you can control in which direction you can steer in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stop driving that Volvo. Get in a Ferrari.
This there ain't Bobo. Hey, you can sponsor us, Bobo. Let's go. Ain't got no problem.
Oh man, let's go.
Yeah, right. So hop in that Bentley or that Lamborghini. Yeah.
Sure.
So tell them why you mad, Keith. What you mad out here for, man?
I'm gonna be honest now. I don't like to be mad, because when you're mad, you frown. You're releasing hormones like cortisol, and that freezes you up. But you know,
Drop the science.
you know what I'm saying? So I want to keep it in a high vibrational pitch. But you know what? I want the people, as they're seeing things, right? And we put the blame on others, which we do have a systematic thing that's happening.
Right.
But we also have a power that we are not allowing ourselves to tap into. I want you to, as you go outward and say what they should do, also contribute to yourself and what you can do.
Right.
So that's
it, huh? That made you peaceful, huh? Yeah. That's how you find inner peace.
Inner peace, right there, yeah.
Because there's so much to be mad about out here, you know.
Yes,
I'm learning a lot today.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. Do you have a story time for us?
Okay, so story time.
Story time. So
by the way, so you just hit me with this story, so I'm just coming up with something real quick. So I got a
Those
quick
are the best stories.
I got a quick one. So in the yoga world, you know, Hinduism kind of has some association with some of the lineage. I studied Hinduism for a little bit. They have a book consistent to what they call the Bible, it's the Bhagavad Gita. And there's a story that's interesting to me when you talk about Krishna, and Krishna is their concept of God, but I don't really want to dwell.
You said so much in there, bro. That was amazing.
I don't want to dwell so much.
He didn't breaking it. Okay.
We good. We still good. I don't want to dwell so much on that, but the point is here. There's a interpretation of Krishna that was Hanuman, and it's the monkey deity, right? And Krishna is the main character in this book, the Bhagavad Gita. And so Krishna comes into this garden. He says, "Where are you, monkey? Where are you, monkey?" Right? Because it's a monkey, right? He's like, "Where are you?" And then, you know, when you say monkey,
Donde?
he's like,
Donde?
Yeah. It's like a lower vibration, a lower, like, you know, something lower in a sense of who you are as the human. So where are you, monkey? And so Hanuman responds. He says, "When I don't know who I am, I worship you. But when I know who I am you."
Wow.
So there you go, just a quick one.
Respect.
Yes, sir.
They be done on the first date. They be done on the first date every time.
It's an epic story right there.
Every time.
Oh man.
Yes, sir.
So what you got coming up, or what's going on?
Oh man, we got some good stuff cooking. I got a book coming out. My first book is the Mindfulness Playbook.
Yeah, respect the Mindfulness Playbook.
Yeah.
Hey.
And it's a codified way of living your life to be more mindful in all aspects of human activity. And it's basically, you know, give you a simple synopsis of it. It's your playbook, and in the sense of how you run your plays, how you interact, your perception of yourself. It's all compiled in one, and I hope you like it. It's also going to be in an audible form, so you get to hear my voice. If you like my voice, you can hear me speak it out to you. So you don't even have to read. You just listen.
I think that's gonna help a lot of people.
Yeah. So I'm hopefully
Coach them through.
Yeah, I'm gonna be your mindfulness coach to get you on the way to win your games that you want to play.
So even if you don't like reading,
yeah, you hear the voice.
That's
Yes,
what
sir.
it is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But you can also find me on Instagram, Keith Mitchell 59.
There it is.
Facebook as
Keith
well.
Mitchell 59.
Yeah.
Keith Mitchell 59. He on the Quarantine Essentials project on that Bridge the Gap. Get that too. Check that out.
Yes, sir. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, I was dropping gems, dropping bombs on him, dropping bars.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We did the cut. We did the 2 cuts. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He on the project.
Yeah.
He on there, drop some science, you know.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
That's right.
So yeah, bro. It's like I'm forever grateful for the light that and the people that you bring on that are also master teachers, because I feel like I'm always learning. I'm always picking something up again, some game, man. So hey, I'm in gratitude. I really don't got no more questions like that,
Yeah, I feel like I want to ask him, but I don't know what to ask. It's just like, I don't know. I know you know a lot of stuff that I need to know.
Yes, sir.
Really.
I think that when you talk about relationship building, and there's some things that we can talk about again with building that relationship with yourself. And so there's 3 questions that I ask for the people who are watching, and also for us here. What is your greatest desire?
Right.
Checking in with that, right?
What is your greatest desire?
Yeah, you can put that up here. What is your greatest desire? And then the second question would be, what is your greatest fear?
What is your greatest fear?
Yeah, and the third one is going to be, what is your limitation?
And what is your limit? But
Yeah.
what if you infinite and don't have no limit?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So with that in mind, you have to be limited.
You need to get past that.
You got to get, because we talked earlier about,
Right.
reclaiming your relationship with fear. So I can't be afraid of fear.
Right.
And when you talk about limitation, we talked about resilience.
Right.
We can't let anything stop us. It's a must. It's not over till we win.
Right. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And this is why y'all need to look at that book, the audio book, all that.
All that.
Yeah,
Yes.
to support whatever this brother doing. Whenever he's like, this is what I'm on front line doing, you just gotta get behind that and support that, because we need to all come together, especially in these days and times when it's really authentic to our movement and what we got going on. Because we all in the same house together.
Yes, yes.
What's the quote or what's the bar that you dropped to Africa where we all in it together, but sometimes we act like we're not in that same house?
I forgot what I was saying on that.
Well, I don't know. He be dropping bars and then forget what the bar is later, but it was something that resonated.
Be too deep, man.
It was something like we're all
You gotta
connected.
come back
So
up
even
and
if
go
like
to
the
that.
house is burning, it's like I'm still part of the house. I might be upstairs and have this illustrious view, and I can see a whole bunch of great stuff going on. But if the bottom of the house is on fire because one of my negligent people that's in the house,
That's surely
so we set it on fire.
The view's going away.
Then at the end of the day, I'm still in here
Shaman.
going through what's
See, I just
happening.
wanted him to say it.
We all in it together.
You can't be using your power for
Like,
puppetry.
bridge the gap. We all in it together.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yes,
Respect. Thank you for hopping on it, man. For sure. Go ahead, hit him with that outro, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm brother Juju.
Man, it's your homie Pain.
Keith Mitchell in the
That's
house.
our brother Keith Mitchell in the
Bro,
house.
bro.
Here's the Brothers Hermanos. Hey.